Well, welcome back, everybody. It's lunchtime, which is the best time, which means that it's time for Mindset Mastery. Today, I want to talk to you about how do you guarantee growth forever? How do you guarantee growth forever in your life? Now, this principle, if you get it, it's going to give you the energy and drive you need to continue to grow into your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and even in the later stages of your life. And one of the things that's very interesting and very challenging, so just for context, I'm 32 right now. So some of you are going, oh my gosh, you're young. Some of you are going, that's old. Depends where you're sitting. But one of the challenges when you sort of enter into your 30s and 40s, when you have little kids, is it's easy to stop growing. So I want to give you a trick for how do you continue to grow, improve, have life become richer and fuller. How do you get a clearer mind, a stronger mind? How do you do it? And I'll give you a story. You've got to learn to arm wrestle your mom. You've got to learn to arm wrestle your mom. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're going to call you're a 32-year-old man. You don't need to arm wrestle your mom. And you're 100% correct. But what I mean by that is this. Some of you know, I'm going to write it down, arm wrestle your mom. And then I'll draw the principle from it. Arm wrestle your mom. So my oldest son, he's now 9. He's turning 10 pretty quick here. And one of the things that he's been doing is he's been tracking his strength. So he's been doing a bunch of chin-ups. He's been working out while we're with me, with his mom, on his own, while we're just at home during this coronavirus lockdown, while school's off. And one of the things he's been doing is he's been tracking his progress in how hard he can pull his mom's arm. He still can't win yet. But one thing he's doing is this. So first thing, is he's tracking progress. Some people said anything you measure, you can improve. So here's a question. What's an area of life that you want to grow in? Maybe it's creative ideas. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's time spent with your son or daughter. Or maybe it's time spent with your folks. Where do you want to improve? You got to track your progress. You got to arm wrestle your mom. So first thing he does, he arm wrestles his mom, and he sees how hard he can pull, and he's getting strong. Number 2, you need to have a so what. You need to have a so what. So for my son, the day he beats his mom in an arm wrestle, he'll know he's sort of arrived as number 2 in the house. It sort of gives him this sense of status, a sense of manhood. So what you need from this is there's a sort of a payoff. There's a payoff. So, for instance, some of you I know, you've picked up guitar or you've dusted off an old skill, playing piano, learning a language. So what? What happens when you learn that new language? When you lose that 10 pounds? What's the payoff? What's the reward? What do you get? What's motivating you forward? And number 3, you got to change it up. So we'll put a dotted line here. So first 2 are before you hit your goal. When you arm wrestle your mom, you got to track your progress. How close are you getting? How much weight have you lost? How much money have you saved? How many people have you encouraged? Whatever. And what's the payoff for you? What's the big bonus? So for me, I started learning Spanish, and part of that influence is that I knew when we were going to be good enough, when I was good enough to have basic conversations and order food off a menu and whatnot, that we'd take a trip, my wife and I. And because of that, I knew we could go to a Spanish-speaking country. So for our 10-year anniversary, we went to Peru. So part of the payoff of learning Spanish was that I could do some international travel with my wife. It was amazing. The food, the ceviche, the pisco sours, the culture, it was unbelievable. But in order to keep improving, when my son beats his mom in an arm wrestle, he's got to change up the goal. There's got to be a new measuring device. There's got to be a new goal that comes to mind. And you know what it'll be for him. He will try to beat his dad, and I will never let him do it. So that's a big idea. You got to arm wrestle your mom. You got to have something that you're measuring your progress against. You got to track it. You measure what matters. There's got to be a so what. When you achieve your goal, what's the payoff? What are you going to do? What fancy pair of jeans are you going to get? What new shoes will you buy? What will you do when you achieve your goal? And then you got to get a new one. You got to change it up. What's your next goal so that you keep growing, you keep improving. You got a strong mind. You got a clear mind. And you get through this pandemic in a great way. With that being said, love you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Mindset Mastery. Bum, 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 ba da 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 da.